The Lauri Markkanen trade chatter just won't stop. Is there anything to it? Next on Locked on Jazz. Bum 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 bum.
You are Locked on Jazz, your daily podcast on the Utah Jazz. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network. Your team every day.
How are you? I'm David Locke, radio voice of the Utah Jazz, Jazz NBA insider. This is Locked on Jazz, your daily podcast on the Utah Jazz, giving you insight, expertise, geeky numbers, and hopefully making it way better to be a Jazz fan each and every day. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's edition of Locked on Jazz. We are free and available on every podcast app and on YouTube. And thank you for making Locked on Jazz your first listen of the day. Today's show is brought to you in part by FanDuel. Right now, new customers, jump to FanDuel, bet your $5, win, get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the app today. All right, Thurl Bailey rejoins us today. Love Thurl. Feel free to send him a thank you at Big T Bailey on X. That would be great. Bowler and Booner as well. Ben Anderson is scheduled to join us, the sports talk show host, for Wednesday and Thursday. Lauren Green next week is the plan now. So Thurl will share with us his tour of the seven, continue some of the conversations from yesterday, talk about starting fives, things of that sort. We're starting today with the constant chatter of Lauri Markkanen. So Zach Lowe said that he'd be stunned if Lauri Markkanen was on the Jazz roster at the end of the year. Michael Pina wrote in the Ringer about all the possible biggest sleeper in the Lauri Markkanen sweepstakes that are going on. Let me clarify my stance here, just so it's clear again. I believe Lauri Markkanen is on the Jazz roster the next time they play a playoff game. And I believe it for 3 or 4 different reasons. One, he's really good. That actually matters a great deal. 2, for us to move forward at some point in time, certainly not this year, but possibly next year or the year after, we need to have some players in the system that are ready to go. Now, if Ace Bailey turns out to be a total bust, or the kid we draft next year turns out to be a total bust, then I'm wrong. Okay? Then I'm wrong. Because then it's just going to take too long. And that's the risk that the Jazz take in keeping Lauri Markkanen and not moving him at this point, is that if those guys bust and then you need to move him, then his value's down. That's the risk. But if Ace Bailey clicks in and 3 years from now is a viable player, and viable player as in like beginning to have a big impact, think Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown at their 3rd year, and whoever we draft this year is then that same player in his 3rd year, and then Ace is 4th, Lauri's still with us, and that's when it's go time. Year or 2 down the road. Very similar model to what we've seen out of some of Cleveland and Detroit and some of these other teams. Nice to be in the Eastern Conference. We'll see if we can get that arranged. That's the model. You have Lauri, you have Walker. They move forward with you. Your young kids come, as we've talked about all week long, all month long. 2 of the 7, 3 of the 7 click in as well. We don't need all 7. And now you've pieced this thing together and Lauri is there. The second reason I believe that Lauri stays with the Jazz is his contract in this new market is a bit prohibitive for a team if he's their 3rd best player. And on a championship level team, I do think there's a chance that Lauri's your 3rd best player. Maybe in this day and age, it changed a little bit that he's your 2nd best player and you have great depth. That could also be the case. We're going to watch this league continue to evolve and change and how the salary cap does things, and it may just be a little different. But nonetheless, Lauri's contract is prohibitive. If somebody has 2 other players they've already paid, to add Lauri on top is prohibitive. There's no question to that. That's not debatable. That your top 2 players are now going to have to be around 85 to 90 million. And if you end up with your top 3 well over 100, it's really hard to build depth. And Lauri at 40 is going to start to push you to 120, such and et cetera. on your salary structure. And I don't think that's a salary structure that's going to work for teams to win. We'll see. Last year, it certainly wasn't. Where our data and our sample sizes are awfully small right now. Like 1 year worth of data on this new collective bargaining agreement, its impact. But the first thing that jumped out to me, you have to have 240 minutes of depth. We'll do that later coming up as we get closer to training camp. We start doing predictions. You have to have a deep roster. And if you start to have more than 90 million in your top two players and more than 110 or 12 million or so in your top three players, you can't have that depth. At Indiana, Minnesota, and Oklahoma City and New York were all 85 below. Well, Lauri at 40 is hard. Now, so those are the reasons. One, you got to have some talent in the cupboard so that when you're ready to go, you go. And Lauri fits perfectly. The other part where Lauri fits perfectly is while this contract is prohibitive to somebody else, it will not be prohibitive to Utah. Because if we're going with Ace Bailey in his fourth year, and whoever we draft next year in his third year, and whoever we draft the year after that in their second year, and we've got Walker, and we've got Keyonte, and we've got Flip, and we've got Lauri, and choose which, and Taylor. Let's choose those three. They're not getting paid. We've got the depth, we've got the money, and Lauri's 40 whatever million is fine because we're not paying two other players. But a team that's established and ready to win that wants to add Lauri is going to have already been paying two other players, and that's a problem. Now, one team's name continually comes up from Zach Lowe, from Michael Pina, from everybody else. And this might be the wild card to this conversation. Because the other part of this thing that I would say on the Lauri stuff is I can't find a trade that makes sense for the Jazz. If the Jazz want to move Lauri Markkanen, it's only so they can get better and they're in a better position for the future. And frankly, there aren't a lot of those out there. However, there is one team out there that both Michael Pina and Zach Lowe have mentioned that does make sense, that does knock off some of my objections. And that's the Detroit Pistons. And here's why. Because they've paid Cade Cunningham 46, 50, 53, 57 the next 4 years. They have not paid their next guy. So they bring Lauri's contract in. It's not a problem until they have to play Asur Thompson. Or if Jalen Duren really gets paid, but I don't think he will. I think Jalen Duren will be in the Walker category. So they haven't paid their next player. So Lauri's contract, prohibitive to a lot of teams, not prohibitive to Utah, not prohibitive to Detroit. And then the last piece of this is Detroit does have an individual player that if you're the Jazz, you might decide is worth part of your rebuild, and that's Jaden Ivey. And Jaden Ivey is in the last year of his deal. He's restricted free agent in the offseason. He's coming off an injury. He is extension eligible right now. I don't think they'll extend him. Maybe. I doubt it. And if the Jazz... Now, I don't know when they would make this decision, but let's say Keyonte starts slowly. Let's say that Isaiah starts slowly, and they realize that in their rebuild, they're guard weak. Right? They've got Ace, they got Taylor. We'll see what happens with Cody. You got Flip, but your guard shallow. You might decide that Jaden Ivey is an important piece of the rebuild, and then that begins to make a tiny bit of sense. Because then you're filling a gap. And if, I'll be honest with you, I read the stories. Michael Pina presented Jaden Ivey, Tobias Harris's expiring contract, and 2 first-round picks. I'm a little sour on the 2 first-round picks, only in this. 2 first-round picks from Detroit will be like what we get from Cleveland, who's really good, because they'll have Lauri Markkanen and they'll have Cade Cunningham. And so one of them will just be a rotation player in the NBA. Because, frankly, that's what happens with first-round picks is 50% of the time, after the 11th pick of the draft, they don't make it. I love how many swings we're taking. That's my whole point, that we only need 2 of the 3 2 or 3 of these 7 to make it. But I'm a little just, I like more swings. I'm just not super excited about those swings. I think Lauri's probably got some value to that. But that's the one scenario. But otherwise, for all this chatter that just won't stop, my general take is still that Lauri Markkanen will be on the Jazz when they play their next playoff game. And that a lot of this chatter is, frankly, because the only thing we have to talk about right now is Jonathan Kuminga or Lauri Markkanen, and those are the players that are getting the talk. With that said, both Zach and Michael do a good job, and Detroit has an interesting viability to it that's worth keeping an eye on. Thurl Bailey, next. The wonderful Thurl Bailey. Who are the 2 or 3 players that he would bet on to be on the Jazz playoff roster out of the 7? Next on Locked on Jazz. Today's edition of Locked on Jazz is brought to you by Monarch Money. I think I've been sharing with you guys a little bit. I don't get too specific. You don't really need to know everything about my life, but we've done a bunch of things recently. And so there is some real value to us right now in categorizing where we're spending our money and what things are costing us in different places. And this is where Monarch Money has really been great. It is truly like having your own personal CFO as an app. It's pretty great. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. And for me, I'm now taking expenses, categorizing them into various things that allow us to look at, okay, there is the burn rate on this. There is the burn rate on this. That's the cost of those things just existing. And finally, kind of have an understanding of it and make really good decisions on what's worth it, what's not. And it's all because of Monarch Money. So use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off this first year. Go to monarchmoney.com and you'll get half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA. Do not let this financial opportunity slip through the cracks and take full control of your finances and everything going on with our friends over at Monarch Money. Today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. New customers bet $5, and with a win, you get $300 in bonus bets. That's right. The NFL college football season is here. Make sure you're ready for kickoff. Don't miss on this can't-miss offer. Find that bet you can't lose. Get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app and take advantage of all of it. Hopefully you were not in on that Philadelphia Eagles game on the wrong side. That is the craziest cover I've ever seen in my life. Next week, looking like the Seahawks on Thursday night are a 1.5 dog to the Arizona Cardinals. Big matchup between the Steelers and the Vikings, and the Vikings are 2.5 point favorite in that one. Eagles go to Tampa Bay where they're a 3.5 point favorite. WNBA playoffs tonight continue. The Mercury are 7-point dogs to Minnesota, where the Fever, looking to upset the Aces again, are an 8.5 point underdog. Minnesota still the favorite to win the WNBA title at -290, with the Aces at +350 right behind that. And baseball heating up. What a series between Cleveland and Detroit this weekend. We'll see if Cleveland can pull off the greatest turnaround in the history of baseball. It's all get into the action at FanDuel.com. Day 2 with Thurl Bailey. Should I tell my favorite? Which of my 2 favorite Thurl Bailey is a great guy story should I tell to lead this off? Which do you want?
Neither one.
Neither one?
Yeah, you see my head's.
You deserve all of it. All right, I'm going to tell a quick one. This one's not even one of the 2. So Thurl and I were somewhere on the road, and everywhere Thurl goes, these 6'11" people come up and talk to him. And everyone usually has, frankly, in my opinion, something absurd to say. Like, what's the weather up there? How tall are you? And I was getting noticeably bothered by it. Do you remember this? I don't know if you noticed this. To literally like almost like stepping in front of people before they would like bother Thurl. And Thurl turns to me and looks to me and says, you know, if it doesn't bother me, it probably shouldn't bother you.
Yeah, I remember saying that.
It's like, fair point.
And it hasn't bothered you since.
Yes, maybe this is why I've like worked on what I've worked on all summer. All right. All right. Let's get to, I want to do a Bailey bold prediction. I did a Bowler Jack bold prediction. What do you think? And by the way, nobody will ever remember this, so just throw out something crazy. What do you think will happen this year at some point that people are maybe not anticipating, or that will be like, oh, wow, that happened?
Wow. Bold prediction. So a good while, is a good while? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope. I mean, I would think it would be about a. I would say that this is the be very strange if you went negative. It would be about as unlike your personality.
No, I mean, I negative isn't always. It could be like great things happen that people don't recognize.
I get what you're saying.
So, I would say that man,
I might have stumped you.
Give me some time. You have stumped me because I'm trying to surprises.
It could be, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of what my answer would be. I think Keyonte is going to have a more efficient offensive season. I think that's a bold prediction because there's been no track record of that.
Yeah.
I think Cody Williams is going to be a viable 15-minute-a-night player. There's been no sign of that. I'd say that's a bold prediction.
I think Brice Sensabaugh is going to be top 2 in scoring.
Ooh, that is a bold prediction.
On the team.
Give me more on Brice Sensabaugh being the top 2 in scoring on the team. Give me more on this. I love this. Thank you, Thurl.
Well, there's something about him that, I mean, he's not all the way there yet, but he's got this scoring ability that's gotten better. His timing. He's even becoming a better playmaker because of it. He talked to me on the road once. He says, if I have to dribble more than 2 or 3 times to get my shot, it's too many. So he basically was saying, well, I'm learning how to be a playmaker if I have to do that. But his ability to get, no pun intended, locked in or locked on in a game is impressive. And my hope is that he can be a lot more consistent with it. But I think he's going to put up some good numbers this year. I like
that. That was a good Bailey bold prediction. Those are better than mine. That's good. I like it. Okay. I think this is an unfair question, but it's fun because I think this will be really determined in training camp. I'd be really surprised if they come to camp knowing more than 2, maybe 3 of these. Who do you think the starting 5 is?
Ooh. Walker Kessler.
Lauri Markkanen.
Lauri Markkanen. That's a good start, right? Am I on the right track?
Yeah.
Isaiah Collier.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I think Ace Bailey will start.
Okay. At what position?
That's a good one.
Bowler's bold prediction was where Ace Bailey started.
I think he's going to be a wing. I think he'll be that 3.
Okay, Bowler had him at the 2.
Really? And I'm gonna. I think Keyonte will come off the bench. Possibly, he might start. It could go either way. Like you said, we're just making crazy predictions here, but I might put Brice in that first 5.
Okay. So you and I actually are agreeing on 4 of the 5.
You don't believe Brice will start?
No, I do. I have Brice starting, but I have Keyonte starting.
Ooh, you don't think Isaiah Collier will start?
I don't think Isaiah Collier is going to start. I'm going back to, do you remember the press conference where Will Hardy, I said this is how I said it to Ron in our conversation, where Will Hardy basically got asked whether he thought Pluto should be a planet, and he answered that if just because you're starting on our team right now does not mean you're an NBA starter. Like, I don't know what the question was, but it had nothing to do with that. I think that means to me that the end of the year starting lineup is irrelevant to who the starters are this year, and that you have to completely earn that was a circumstance that happened. But I don't think he has a feeling coming to camp that so-and-so is a starter and has to get knocked out. I don't think, other than Lauri and Walker, I don't think there's a set spot on this.
So did you put Walter Clayton in that starting point guard spot?
I did not. I have Keyonte at the point guard, Brice at the 2, Ace, Lauri, and Walker.
So
here's my other thought. Yeah, go ahead.
And maybe it wasn't as big a deal as some may have thought, but you're taking a guy who broke John Stockton's rookie assist record. You're taking the best distributor on the team right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you're taking a guy like Lauri Markkanen, who is killing it over in Europe,
mm-hmm.
and is probably going to bring some new dimensions to his game. And you've got to set him up. You've got to put him in a place where he can thrive. And you don't think Isaiah is the guy to potentially get the first opportunity to do that.
You bring up a great point. So you have me on the ropes. I don't often admit this. I usually go talk show host realm and pretend like nothing flusters me, but you've got me on the ropes a little bit. That is a great point, because I've been talking about all summer long that really Lauri post Mike Conley has never been quite the same. So I think that's a really good point. Let me give you what drove my 2 things that drove my decision and see if you buy in at all. But I do think you have a great point on that. Okay. So I'm on the ropes. I'm staggered. I'm in my corner. My blood guy is fixing the shot under my eye, but I'm going to come back with a fury. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know that you can play 2 non-3-point shooters. I don't mean non-makers. I mean literally non-3-point shooters. Isaiah Collier doesn't take threes. So Walker, Kessler, and Isaiah Collier don't take threes. They don't make them either, but they don't take them. And I'm not sure you can play the 2 of them together because of that in this day and age. Right. Secondarily, and maybe this is wrong on my part because you're better than I am here. You're trying to figure out how to maximize the best player on the team, which is why I have a bloody cut under my right eye right now that my cut guy is dealing with. And I probably am trying to maximize Isaiah Collier too much in this. But I think Isaiah Collier's strengths are vision and driving and getting to the rim. And I don't know that I think he can do that when he's on the floor with Walker. So I like Isaiah Collier playing in a second unit where maybe we're playing 5 out some of the time, or at least Nurkic, if he's the center, stretches, or Filipowski fully stretches. And there's open driving lanes for Collier to be able to do that. And I think I like that. And then secondarily, but again, your point of doing what's best for Lauri is probably better than my thought, is I actually like Clayton and Collier together because I'm not totally sure what Clayton is in regards to whether he's a lead guard or not. And so I like Collier giving him a soft landing on the floor, being on the floor together. And I think they could play really well off each other.
I'm getting ready. Where's your cut? Under the left
right
eye?
Here.
I'm
right here.
I'm going to hit the other one.
Okay, hit the other one.
Well, I know that so much of this game right now, the importance of this game is based on being able to make threes, but it's not everything. I think even more importantly, even to get to that point, is pace. And I think a guy like Isaiah is the epitome of pace. Yeah, he might not be as good at the 3-point line, but I think some of that can be made up for on missed shots for the other team. And I'm not saying that you have to, that all those guys are going to start and they're going to play. I mean, we're looking at, 5-6 minutes into the game, right? Maybe for a sub, or maybe for a 3-point shooter, maybe for somebody who isn't, who can knock down that shot better. But I just think as a pure, and part of this is my old school thinking, but as a floor general, as a guy who is directing traffic and you have to keep up with him if you're going to, be a part of the early offense. I just think he is, from what I saw last year, from what I saw him grow into last year and the potential of what he could be this year. And maybe he's worked on his three to the point where it probably isn't that much better, but he's more comfortable with it. It's not like he can't hit it on a given night. The consistency is the thing that I know we're talking about here, but what do you want him consistent at? Facilitating?
This is an amazing moment. I'm listening. Did everyone notice this? This is growth. I'm 55 years old and I'm growing. I have one other thought on this. We'll continue it as we continue on Locked On Jazz. Basically, I'm just going to be a little frank, maybe even harsh here in a second. I don't believe in swearing on this show because kids are listening with dads, and I'd never want to disturb that. So I'm going to get a laugh out of a little kid who's listening right now because I think this is a poop or get off the pot year for Keyonte George. And so that's also why I'm starting him. We're not playing second-tier guys anymore. Like, yeah, your free throws were up last year because you did a great job of getting the line more when you were on the floor in the bonus. It's time now, kid. Let's go. Like, what do you got? That's kind of where I'm with him, but you have him at the 2 and Isaiah at the 1. Okay. All right. You don't disagree with me on the concept that it's poop or get off the pot time. I just had to say it a second time.
I don't disagree with you on that. And I think as a player, if I'm Keyonte, I know that. Right? Because that's just how things work. And in some manner, some great communication way, I think they probably told him that, or will tell him that in how they play him and how they talk to him and how they coach him. So I'm pretty sure he gets it.
They did tell him that, and he's answered up to this moment perfectly. Like, let's just reveal the curtain. I hope no one minds. They have talked to him about it, and he has committed. If you talk to people, they say he's won the offseason. He is the one who's won the offseason with his commitment, his level of excellence, his dedication. So that's part of it. What do you expect out of Kyle Filipowski and how we use him?
Love that guy, man. And I can't help but go back to draft night when he was still available, and I was talking to Bowl. I'm like, and I was saying this on air that I'm surprised Kyle is still there. I hope he's there with our pick and we get him. And first of all, to be able to spend time with him his rookie season and get to know him on that journey and talk to him was a gift for me, just because I was really glad the Jazz were able to get him. But to watch him struggle early, right? To watch him come in. But in the back of my mind, I know how talented he could be. I know how talented he was in college, but I had this kind of, I don't know.
Visceral hate because he went to Duke?
No, I got over that.
I just thought check.
I got over that because NC State took care of that year for him. But
nice shot. Nice. If anyone's wondering if the nicest guy in the world still has a competitive juice, there it was. We just dropped that dagger in there.
I'm competitive, brother. But I kind of had this.
I've pissed you off a few times. I've seen it.
Stop. But I had this vision, if you will, of this. I don't know of what I thought he could be as a player, with what he was bringing to the table. And I never said those things to him, but I did say to him, I'm glad the Jazz brought you here because I think you're going to be a great piece. But there was a point in the season where he stopped falling on the court, right? There was a point in the season where he made a concerted effort to take good information and change his jump shot. And there was a point in the season where he said, forget this. I'm gonna get put back what I'm getting out of this game. I'm going to get physical. So I saw that happen in real time. I think we all saw it, where he started to come into his own and not try to think too much out there. And this summer, there was another jump, right? His body is better, it's stronger. So he took those things this summer and decided that, man, I got to get to the next level. I got to be ready when the season comes. MVP of the Summer League, obviously. And so I think that he is going to have a fantastic year this year. And I would not be surprised if he is in the running for Sixth Man of the Year.
Oh, great. I mean, I thought last year he had as good an offensive season as any rookie in the NBA. And I'll tell you this, I was at Summer League and had this conversation. Like that draft class is awful as of right now. It is the single worst statistical draft class in the history of the NBA. I think there's a real chance that there's 5 rotation players, and that's it in the entire draft. Maybe 7 guys who are regular rotation players for 8, 9. He's probably one of them. In the 32nd pick of a draft, in a draft that may literally only have 6 or 7 guys that become consistent rotation players, and 2 of them are because they're 7-2. Like he may be one of them. It's pretty great. I got to figure out what position he plays defensively. I still have just no idea on that.
Well, I think he could, he played a lot of 5. He spelled Walker quite a bit. I think you can play those guys together. I mean, he's a stretch guy, obviously. So I don't know if, we want to establish a 4 or 5, but I think he could do both. I think he could, depending on who you're playing, by the way, he could probably switch up top. But yeah, he's going to be a valuable piece for the Jazz.
All right. Final question for the great Thurl Bailey. If you look at where we are, and this is what Justin and Danny created with their trades and what Austin's now building with. If you look at where we are, we have Ace. We're going to draft another high draft pick next year. If over-under is any indicator, we're probably not winning a lot of games this year. Probably drafting another one. Those are the 3. Those 3 pieces go up. The draft supposedly 3 years from now is really bad. So maybe it's only those 2. And they developed there 4 years. Lauri, I think, will be on the roster at that point. Walker's probably on the roster at that point after an extension at some point or a contract next year. So that's 4 or 5 of the pieces. We have some cap space. We add another one that's 5 or 6. We add another one we really only need, and this is why you take so many swings at it, of these 7 guys, which is Keyonte, Brice, Taylor, Isaiah, Kyle. I'm forgetting someone. Walter Clayton Jr., because Ace is not in this group, so I've forgotten one player in that group. I apologize. Oh, Cody Williams. 7 guys. We really only need 2 or 3 of them to become established, solid, 22 to 28 minute a night rotation players in the NBA if for this thing to work. And we don't I think we have to concede that probably none of them are a top 50 player in the NBA. Maybe some of them are going to work in between 65, 70, 80. It just doesn't seem as though there's a top 50. That's a pretty high level to be top 50. Like Lowry's right on the edge of that. You got to be pretty freaking great. So which of these 2 or 3 guys at this stage, and this is, as Will Hardy has said, do not stamp these guys permanently, but as they sit right now, which do you think are the most likely 3 to 4 years from now to be that guy?
2 guys?
2 or 3, yeah.
It is 2 or 3. Kyle.
Okay.
Brice.
Ooh, interesting. So the pure shooting skill and the offensive ball moving skills override.
I think so. I think in this league, when you need ISO.
Oh, at the final moment, he goes black. It goes away. He disappears. For those of you on audio, you have no idea, but Big T just disappeared. I don't know if his battery ran out or if the Wi-Fi. Are you still there? Can you hear me? Oh, he's popping back maybe. And he's going to make a smart aleck comment about what I just said. If he comes back, maybe not. Is that the end of Big T? Brice Sensabaugh, Kyle Filipowski. Discuss amongst yourself. He is Big T, Thurl Bailey. Oh, he's trying it, ladies and gentlemen. I can see him trying, but I think we're going to let him go. That was awesome. I love Big T. We are so blessed and lucky to have him in our lives. He is truly one of the best human beings I've ever been around. I aspire every single day to be better, and I am better because I'm around him. So, all right. Thank you all very much. Hope you enjoyed the interview series with Big T, Thurl Bailey. Who's next on the interview series? We may have a first-time guest. It's all coming up. Thank you very much. We now send you the first ever 24/7 national NBA channel on YouTube, Locked on NBA. Don't forget Locked on NBA audio there for you every day. A great show now with Wes, Matt, and Hayes.